Hi, this is Sajid Ahmed, and in today's presentation, I'm going to cover up Caliburn Micro. Since this is going to be a series of presentation covering various aspects of Caliburn Micro, and this is going to be Caliburn Micro Part 1, wherein I'm going to get you guys kickstart with the configuration of Caliburn Micro and a few introduction of what Caliburn Micro is all about. So let's get the introduction of Caliburn Micro. Caliburn Micro is actually derived from a mature version of Caliburn. And what is Caliburn? Caliburn is nothing but it is something, a framework which has been again inspired by Microsoft framework called as Prism. But Caliburn and Prism both are criticized for having huge code base. It's very heavy. So the creator Rob Eisenberg came up with a compact version of Caliburn and he named it as Caliburn Micro. Okay, so now what does Caliburn Micro gives you out of the box? It helps the programmers to get rid of repeated coding. It's a toolkit. It's kind of a toolkit which provides you by removing the repeated coding what you're doing. Like if you do a binding or commands, you will have to implement iNotify property change for binding, and for commands you will have to implement I commands, and you will have to implement respective methods for that. This is a mandatory job each and every programmer has to go through when he's developing a WPF application or a Silverlight application with MVVM design pattern. So all this things is been just removed and provided a very cleaner approach. Caliburn Micro internally take care of doing this for you. It does exist, but it's been taken care of by Caliburn Micro so that the developer don't have to worry about those things and just go ahead with coding, and hence improves the simplicity and hence supports simplifies the building a deeply composed UI. Okay, not only that, Caliburn Micro is not only useful for is implemented you can be implemented in WPF but also in Silverlight and Windows Phone 7. So it's across these platforms you can use Caliburn Micro. Additionally, it also supports asynchronous programming, mainly concentrating towards Silverlight. So today's course I'm going to cover how to set up your machine with your application with Caliburn Micro. And since Caliburn Micro also follows the MVVM design pattern internally, so we'll have to follow a naming convention what Caliburn Micro encourages for the developers to go. And main important aspect here is, like, unlike your MVVM design pattern, you will have your view and view model having a data context to talk to each other. In Caliburn Micro is taken care automatically, so there's no data context as such. And Caliburn Micro on the other hand follows view model first approach. So it's all it does is it goes to the view model, and Caliburn Micro automatically knows who is the respective view for this view model and it loads it for you. So how is this done? How is the application startup goes to the view model and loads the respective view? All this thing is done under the bootstrapper. Bootstrapper is the one, it's like a middle layer which acts like a glue between your application startup and the view model. So additionally, about the tutorial resources what I have used in this application in the demo is basically first you'll have to get Caliburn Micro framework from CodePlex website, which is listed over here, caliburnmicro.codeplex.com. And also the course material what I'm going to show in today's demo is being covered under a blog under mindscapehq.com by a person named as Jason. It's basically on that, and then you can also find the source material of this tutorial in this blog as well. So let's get started with the demo. Okay, so let's get started with the demo. Firstly, we will have to download Caliburn Micro from codeplex.com website, wherein the current version what they have released is Caliburn Micro version 1.5.2. So download this file. So for simplicity, I have already downloaded this in my local machine, and you can find the bin libraries and some few samples there. So all we bother about in the bin WPF 4.5 release. Okay, so mainly we are going to deal with two DLLs, namely Caliburn.micro.dll and systems.windows.interactivity.dll. So now let me come and add a new project. Let me call this project as Caliburn Micro App. Okay. As you can notice, as soon as I create a new project, a default main window.xaml file is created. We don't need this file, so we'll just go ahead and delete it. And then let's go to the XAML app.xaml file and delete that startup URI. Okay, now let's get the folder structure in place. So first let me add a folder for the libraries. Let me copy these two libraries first. Paste it under here. And let me include them. And the references from the respective place. I do this one because just to not make sure that I don't miss out those files when I package this application. Okay, so we have the libraries folder, and let me add, since we are going to follow MVVM pattern, so let me have the respective folders. So views will contain my view all the views. My view models folder will contain all the view models, and my models folder will contain all the models. So here in this example, the scope is very limited just to get kick-started, so I'm not going to do anything with the view models here, but mainly concentrate on the view and the view models. So first let me add a view model. Okay, now coming to the naming convention. As I have mentioned in my presentation earlier, we will have to follow a proper naming convention. So for example, if I want to have a window called as app, so let me name this my view model as app view model. Okay, let me just get rid of these using statements, make this class as public. Okay, public. And unlike MVVM, we always used to implement iNotify property change. Here we inherited from property changed base class. This is provided. Let me just resolve this. This is provided by Caliburn Micro. Okay, so just leave it here. So property changed base is responsible for taking care of, it's a wrapper class over the iNotify property change interface, so it takes care of all the notifications and all those stuffs. We don't have to do anything here, it takes care automatically. And then let's quickly add a view, and of course this is a user control, and of course the naming convention should be app view. Okay, so by default it gives me just a grid. Let me just decorate this grid with a basic information. Let me have a width of 300, height of 300, and just give a background like light blue, and let me have a text block, text as Caliburn Micro. Okay, so that's it with the view. Now another aspect of Caliburn Micro is the bootstrapper. Now when we start, as if you remember, I just in the startup of this project I just deleted the main window XAML file. Now my application on the start does not know where to start with, what will be my first view model to start with. So this is what the binding is going to be taken care by Bootstrapper. So let me add a Bootstrapper class and name it as app Bootstrapper. As usual, get rid of this using statements and then make this public. And we shall now inherit from a class called Bootstrapper from Caliburn Micro. And this we are going to pass a generic type class here, which is going to be our startup view model. Okay, so let's give our app view model here, and now let's quickly resolve these references. Oh, there's a spelling mistake. Bootstrapper. Okay, Bootstrapper, and this is my view model. So all this says is when the application's Bootstrapper says is when the application starts, go look for app view model. Okay, so the connection between the Bootstrapper and the view model is there, but what about the connection between the application startup to the Bootstrapper? So let's cover that area. So let me go just build a bit so that all the references are up. Okay, so let me reference my Bootstrapper here. XML give an alias name as boot. Oh, a little prefer to use the IntelliSense. Here is my class, and under application.resources we are going to add our Bootstrapper. Let our application resources know the Bootstrapper where it is. So all we have to do is under application resources resource, we'll have to under the resource dictionary tag resource dictionary dot merge dictionaries. Under this resource dictionary we will have our boot so this is going to be our app Bootstrapper, given alias key name as something like Bootstrapper. Okay, let me rebuild the solution. It succeeds. So by this what I have done is now application on the startup, when it comes over here, it registers a Bootstrapper into the application resources. This will tell go hit, there's a class called as Bootstrapper, go hit that. So when it comes over here into this class has is inheriting Bootstrapper class, which is pointing to a view model, app view model. So that is over here. Now if you can see here, we have come, since Caliburn Micro follows a view model first approach, this shows that. So we have from like application startup, we have come to the Bootstrapper. Bootstrapper tells the where is the view model, and till now there is no references to the view, and that is the magic what Caliburn Micro does. So now from here Caliburn Micro takes it up. It knows for this view model, app view model, the view should be app. So it internally takes care of locating that app and bringing it up. So let me just go and start it. There you see, this is the window, this is the view named as app, and in the coding I have not I have not given any kind of references. There's no data context telling which is my view or view model and so on and so forth whatsoever. So this is what Caliburn Micro gives you out of the box. It's really very handy and useful. Thank you.